Hey there guys, it's your good pal Wiggly, and welcome to my Let's Play of Metroid Fusion. This is the fourth installment in the Metroid series, releasing 8 years after Super Metroid for the Game Boy Advance in 2002, right alongside the first 3D installment, Metroid Prime. Speaking of Metroid Prime, that was my very first Let's Play of the series ever, the blind Let's Play of that I did nearly 7 years ago, Jesus. In that Let's Play, and ever since that Let's Play, I have non-stop sung praises about this game, touting it as my favorite Metroid game,
Metroid Fusion, which is currently my favorite of the franchise.
Until Metroid Prime 2 came along, at least. Because this game, on my initial playthrough, left a massive impact on me with its atmosphere and story, and just a lot of things I had never seen from a GBA game at the time of playing this, but you may be surprised to find out that I have the exact same backstory with this game as I did with Super Metroid, where I played it once back in the day, following a guide to a T, and did not retain the game very well at all. In fact, other than a few major beats, I would dare say that I retained Super Metroid better than I did this game. But this game left such a strong impact on me with its atmosphere and whatnot, that I would still have called it my favorite game until Metroid Prime 2 came along. At least in the series, not my favorite game of all time. But anyway, that is the reason why I am so excited to do this game in particular. Because I really gotta know if this game holds up just as well as I remember it. If you are curious as to where this game takes place in the timeline, as of the recording of this video, it is the final game in the timeline, with Metroid Other M coming between Super and this, but you can skip Other M and be totally fine for this game. Not that I think Other M is that terrible, but we'll get to that eventually. And the reason why I said it is the final game in the timeline as of this video is because of the fact that we are getting Metroid 5 in literally 2 weeks. I procrastinated a little bit, but you know, I'm wont to do that. I will be Let's Playing Metroid Dread blind. I won't go too long on that. I have not been spoiled by the trailers. I've stayed away from everyone except for the very first one, so worry not, and I will be Let's Playing that before the end of the year. That is a guarantee, unless like my computer blows up or something. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough intro for you guys. I'm ready to re-experience this game. I've been honestly a little bit terrified to see whether or not this game holds up as much as I hope it does. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop into Samus's fourth journey. Well, kind of, but you know. I'd been assigned to watch over Biologics' research team, so I once again found myself on the surface of SR-388. It was there that I was attacked by a life form I had never encountered before. It was only later that I learned the identity of my attacker, the parasitic organism we now know as X. Unaware of my condition, I was returning to the station when disaster struck. Once the X had infested my central nervous system, I lost consciousness and my ship drifted into an asteroid belt. The ship's emergency systems automatically ejected the escape pod before impact. Biologics' vessel recovered it and transported me to Galactic Federation HQ. However, during the journey, the X multiplied within me, corrupting large areas of my power suit. It then came to light that the organic components of my power suit had become so integrated with my system that it could not be removed while I was unconscious. Large portions of my suit had to be surgically removed, dramatically altering my physical appearance. However, the X and my central nervous system were too embedded to be removed safely. I was given a minimal chance of survival. Then, someone found a cure. They proposed using a Metroid cell to make an anti-X vaccine. It seems that the Federation had managed to preserve a cell culture from the last infant Metroid from SR-388. The serum was prepared and injected without delay. The X parasites were immediately and completely destroyed. As for me, one life ended, yet I survived, reborn as something different. Pondering this fact, I realize I owe the Metroid hatchling my life twice over. We'll soon be arriving at the BSL research station. I must prepare for docking. The ship's computer has notified me of our approach to the Biologic Space Labs, or BSL, research station. During my surgery, the research team sent the last batch of creatures we captured there, as well as the infected pieces of my power suit. After regaining consciousness, I learned that an unexplained explosion rocked the station. For some reason, this awoke a nameless fear in my heart, and now I am being sent there to investigate. My mission on the BSL station will be overseen by my new ship's computer. Following the commands of this blunt, computerized CEO is something I have to bear, as it was a condition of my taking the ship. For someone who dislikes taking orders, this is the second time I found myself having to do so. It makes me recall my other CEO. There's been an explosion in the quarantine bay. The bay currently stores capsules containing recent samples from SR-388, as well as parts of your suit infected by the X parasites. The cause of the explosion is as yet unclear. Investigate. The quarantine bay is here. Move quickly and quietly. You are still unable to use most of your latent abilities. Don't forget that, Samus. Stop at the navigation room on the way. Uplink from there. Is your objective clear? Now, go to the quarantine bay. Alright, and here we are in Metroid Fusion. First things first, I just want to say that I adore this game's setup. It is such an interesting direction to take the series after Super Metroid, because the obvious question is, where do you go when the Metroids are actually, truly, completely eradicated? You introduce a new creature, the X-Parasite, and I like the X-Parasite even more than the Metroids. It is such a cool concept, and Samus's new redesign is so neat. Her new ship is incredible. I love this ship. And yeah, it even has like a little underneath thing to go into to save, like a, I don't know what to call that, like a teleporter? I don't know what to call that, like a traction beam? There's a word for it, I just can't think of it right now. This game plays very, very similar to Zero Mission, obviously, which came after this. And it also actually plays very similar to Super Metroid as well, though the game is quite a bit faster. As you can see, Samus falls a lot heavier and a lot less floaty, and there's no run button. She automatically runs at full speed, because the GBA only has 2 face buttons instead of 4, unlike the Super Nintendo. The entirety of the game takes place within this ship, the BSL Research Labs, and I, once again, love this game's setup. It's not for everybody. You can hang from ledges now. That's a new thing implemented in this game. I'm surprised this wasn't a thing in Super, but it's really not too big of a deal. And yeah, here we are in the main deck. The GBA being able to display some amazing background effects that I don't think they could have achieved. Well, they could have. They probably could have achieved it on the Super Nintendo, but they went all out with attention to detail 8 years later. This game just looks gorgeous, in my opinion. I am playing with screen smoothing on. I am also playing this on a Wii U Virtual Console. This is a legit copy of the game, technically. Yeah. I am playing with screen smoothing on. I know that's not for everybody, but I personally prefer the look. I apologize if that is something that is turning you off, but it is just my personal preference. The quarantine bay is ahead. Biosigns are confirmed. Be careful. Okay. So this game actually has something of a hint system with the computer, giving us missions and directives and a direction to go, which is a very divisive topic that we will be getting into later. It is the main breaking point of the Super Metroid versus Metroid Fusion debate. We can't go down there yet. Any sort of Metroid fan who's played a Metroid game before, if this is your first Metroid game, I'm very intrigued as to why. But we don't have the Morph Ball yet. Samus has lost all of her power-ups, and I think this is, bar none, the best reasoning as to why she loses all of her power-ups, by far. It is the only one that feels like super thought out and not forced, in my opinion. Because it had to be removed, because it was infected. Look at all these broken tanks. Here we have an enemy. Once again, I do not know the enemy names offhand, but you may recognize a lot of these enemies as they are from SR388, which is the game that, which is the planet that Metroid 2 took place on. However, just about every enemy that we will encounter has been infected by the X-Parasite. Minor spoilers, I guess, but you just saw an X-Parasite pop out of that. So, there was nothing there. So let's go ahead and head back to the navigation room, I suppose. This is unfortunate news. The specimens brought back by the field team were infected by the X-Parasites. The X can mimic its prey. Any specimen could have hosted it. Before the explosion, a security sensor scanned one. I love that render up there at the top right, by the way. It looks so neat, this cool like pseudo 3D effect on the Game Boy Advance. So cool. The gelatinous X-Parasites invade and rapidly reproduce, killing the host creature. They also absorb DNA and use it to mimic the host. You were almost killed by an X infection. Only the Metroid vaccine saved your life. It seems Metroids were the main predators of the X. That's why the vaccine worked so quickly and so well. But it has also changed your cellular makeup. You will never be infected by the X again. In fact, you can now absorb any free-floating X-Parasites without a host by merely touching them. This will allow you to replenish health and restore weapons. You may also restore latent abilities this way, so pursue free X-Parasites whenever you possibly can. This station is home to many species, some violent ones. We must keep the X out of the breeding environments at all costs. This is vital, Samus. I am already detecting massive biosigns in this region. The X are gathering. This may be our chance to exterminate them, but you are only at 10% battle capacity. Your chance of survival is extremely low. The Federation needs you alive and on duty, Samus. Is your objective clear? Yes. Now get going. I have released the lock on the level 0 hatches. Look for the blinking hatches. Thanks, computer. So yeah, this game, very much, at least for the first while, you are super, super guided. We have heckin' music going on here. Also, I just want to say that Samus becoming part Metroid is kind of the coolest thing in the world. As stated, we are able to absorb X-Parasites, them replacing health and ammunition drops and whatnot. I believe the yellow ones are health drops? Maybe? I think. Alrighty, here we have our first save room, of course. Of course. Nothing crazy, it just saves your game. I wonder if we... I don't think we can do anything further up. I'm not going to bother exploring too hard until we have a couple abilities. Here we have a zombie-looking dude. He's a jerk. If memory serves... I think they're, like, infinitely respawning. Eventually an X-Parasite will come back. Or maybe I'm thinking of something later. It's possible, but it's not dead yet. As you can see, it's just rolling around on the floor, slip sliding along. There's something here that we cannot break with our power shot. Once again, Samus has the long beam natively. I guess the only game that had the long beam, as far as I can remember, is Metroid 1. At least it's like a separate power-up that you had to gather, which is just like a good staple, honestly, just leaving it innate. I have received news from HQ. They can support you with downloadable weapon data. Once you have this data, you'll be able to use missiles. This will help against some enemies your beam can't hurt. Head to the data room for the download. The data room is here. Yes. With missiles, your chance of survival climbs to 20%. Thanks, Fi. Alright. So let's go ahead and move on. I love the potted plants and vending machines. It's such a breath of fresh air after being on Zebes twice and SR-388 once, just these, you know, alien-infested planets. Like, look at this. This isn't stuff that you would have seen very much. Maybe in the wrecked ship, I guess, but honestly, I love this game's setup and environment and just location and just all sorts of junk. I love the potted plants and the vending machines. It's funny. I think it's hilarious. So let's go ahead and head on up the elevator. That computer reminds me of a gruff Federation CEO I served under named Adam Malkovich. He called me Lady on missions. From anyone else, it would have sounded sarcastic, but Adam made it sound dignified. Out of respect and with some irony, I named the computer after him. So our computer's name is Adam. Very cool. Look at that space texture they got going on back there. So neat. So neat. Alright, we can go through that door, however... Oh, there's an upper path. Samus can innately wall jump, though, unlike Super Metroid, they made it so you can't just infinitely wall jump on one wall, which, once again, is a kind of a point of contention, how this game removed a lot of the ability to sequence break, but personally, I don't find that much of an issue at all, as a lot of the sequence breaks in Super Metroid are, in fact, unintended. So, I can understand the complaint, though. The data room is just ahead. Alright, well, oh, we can't leave. Very cool. Alright. I love the super beep boopy version of the weapon get theme. So now we have missiles. We can hold down the R button instead of having to press select and cycle through a shit ton of them. You can just hold the R button and point and shoot. I'm not going to yet because I don't want to waste any of our very few 10 missiles. Ooh, that sounded not good. Electrical interference has knocked out the elevators on the main deck. This may be related to the X. Well, that was a very stilted delivery. I apologize. This may be related to the X. I'll work on it. As for you, try to find another way to the target. It's located here. I'm reading huge biosigns, so I hope your missiles work. To reload missiles, you can use a recharge room or absorb a special type of X-Parasite. You'll see them. Try it out. Is your objective clear? Yes. Missiles are your only hope. Don't hesitate to use them. Now, find a way to the target. Alright, let's go ahead and move on through then. Yep. So there's not really a genuine way for us to get up there. Something else cool is that you can hold on to a ledge and at least I thought you could shoot while holding a ledge, but I suppose maybe not. I know you can in Zero Mission. Maybe I am mistaken. So here we are in a recharge room. Instead of having separate missile and ammunition rooms, this game just puts them both in one room. Still not quite as good as the safe stations just doing everything. But, you know, it is what it is. I am curious to see if there's something in the wall. If any of you have seen a Metroid Let's Play of mine before, you will know I will be shooting like every wall I come across and looking deep, deep, deep for secrets because we will be 100%ing the game, as always. So there we are. Boom. Look at this little glowy effect coming out of the tube. It's so cool and atmospheric. I love this game. As you can see on the map, any sort of secret passageway is marked in green. Gray is areas we have not visited, and pink, I suppose it's not purple, it's pink, are areas that we have been to. Now we can blow these things up. It looks like they take 3 missiles. I think I'm correct in saying that green X parasites will restore our ammunition and yellow will restore our health. I do believe. Yep, that looks to be the case. Here we have single way fall throughable blocks. Okay, that's right. I remember now. You can't shoot off of any ledge. You can only shoot off of ladders. Ledge shooting in general was something that Zero Mission introduced, I do believe. And, I mean, that kind of sucks, but hey, we made progress at least, you know? So now we are going behind the weird wire tube. Here's a good example of wall jumping. You just press away from the wall and go right on up. It functions pretty much exactly as you'd expect. Actually, it's a little easier to do than it is in Super. It's not quite as frame precise, but, you know, it is what it is. There's got to be something in here. Yep, so on the map up there, you can see that there is a empty circle. And that means that there is a power-up in the room that you are in. Once again, something this game introduced that I am a big, big fan of because it makes searching and 100% in the game significantly easier. Some would call it a little bit too easy. That is a valid argument once again, but I disagree with that sentiment. We got a missile tank. It extends our it extends our total missiles by 5, I do believe. Maybe it was 10? Did I get another missile tank earlier? Maybe, I'm silly. Who knows? I guess we'll find out later. So here we have an eyeball door. I don't know the name of it. I would love to know the name of it. And here we are starting to see something about this game that I do remember very well, and that is that I recall this game being balls hard. Though maybe now that I am older and more experienced, having beaten both Zero Mission and Samus Returns on the hardest difficulties, perhaps we will be A-okay. But who knows, maybe I will be just as challenged as I was before. So I guess we could go backwards and explore, but once again, there wasn't that much. So this eyeball will shoot 1 beam, and once you can see the pupil, you can shoot it with a missile. It takes 5 question mark missiles? I actually don't know. Maybe I should stop saying something that I'm not totally sure of. I know in general these eyeball doors mean that there is a boss ahead, and they usually take 1 super missile, which in past games is the equivalent of 5 missiles. Looks like 3. So here we have a red X parasite, and it just fucked right off. I guess I don't get that. Oh, there it is. I believe it fully restores, or at least greatly restores, both your energy and missiles. Alright, so here we go. Ledge hoppin', ledge hoppin'. Alright. And here we have an energy tank, expanding our health by a full 100. So once that 99 at the top left reaches 0, we'll go up to another 99, and the red bar will deplete. And here we have a big old thingy. And here we have our first boss, the Arachnus X. The game is super loud for me right now. I don't know why this dude is called Arachnus. He looks like he has nothing to do with a spider. The point of this boss is to teach you to leap above and use anything that you can to avoid attacks on the ground. Sorry, I'm focusing. I'm also very rusty at this point, because again, it's been like another 6 months since I did another Let's Play. I need to stop doing that. As I was saying, the point of that boss is to teach you to leap up and grab the ledges as you see them. It's a good tactic to avoid attacks, instead of just trying to jump on the ground all the time like you would have in Super Metroid. Every time you beat a boss, one of these little things pops out, a very special type of X parasite. And once you absorb it, you get one of your abilities back from Super Metroid. Here we have the Morph Ball. You press down twice and you roll into a ball, and that's about all you got. You can squeeze through 1 tile tall passages instead of the normal 2. It can go right into a Morph Ball from hanging onto a ledge. No more of this type of stuff. No more wall jumping and then going into a Morph Ball and trying to land. Big improvement. So here it looks like we need to grab onto the ladder and shoot the blocks away before rolling through. Lots of pipes. Once again, I just want to commemorate the fact that they really went all out with the room designs in this game. No aspect has been left unexplored in these rooms. Looks like we can't get through here. Oh, nope, it's just an invisible wall. Never mind, I'm silly. Alright. So now that we have our missiles back and our Morph Ball, let's go ahead and get rid of this thingy. And pass on through here. Looks like just a recharge room, no biggie. Not a big deal, not a big deal. Alrighty. So let's take a peek as to where we can go next. Up there is a red door. Traditionally, red doors are missile doors, where you need to throw a missile at it in order to get through it, but I'm not sure if that's the case in this game because the doors look different. So I suppose we'll find out as we go. We couldn't get up to that door anyway because we can't jump high enough, and you can't do the trick from Super Metroid, the infinite wall jump trick. It's so nice. I don't have to keep shooting all over the place in order to find secrets anymore. Green doors are not missile doors. Those traditionally are super missile doors, and I think the colors add up just as well now as they once did. Alright. So we can't go up there. Looks like Adam wants to chat. Samus, it's as I feared. The breeding environments have been invaded by X parasites. Sector 1, SRX, shows several abnormalities on biosensors. Sector 1 is a simulation of the SR-388 ecosystem. To get there, take the main elevator to access the shaft and use Elevator 1. Is your objective clear? Yes. Use the navigation room just inside for further briefing. I'm not sure, but I think that whoever allowed the X into the environment may also be linked to the earlier explosion. So it seems that we are not alone on this ship, even despite the X parasites. Another missile tank, very nice, very nice. If memory serves, this game has 255 missiles total, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong about that before. So we can go this way now. Up here, though that's actually the way we need to go. Whoop-de-doo. So let's go ahead and take a peek down here. I love Samus in blue. This suit is just the coolest thing. This suit is actually an alternate costume, or at least the coloring for it, not quite this suit, in Super Smash Bros. Has been since Brawl. So that's a neat little tidbit of information, and that's the suit that I always use when I'm playing Samus. Here we have a cold room. Traditionally, they are usually hot rooms, but that's a cold room, and you might be wondering, well, Samus is wearing a suit. Why in the world does the cold affect her so bad? Well, remember, she's part Metroid, and Metroids are traditionally weak to ice. So that's something of a problem, is it not? Alright, so let's go ahead and take the elevator on down. And I think that is a fantastic note to leave off the episode on. I've been Guildmaster Wiggly. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving it a like. If you are new, consider subscribing. If you want to follow my Twitch or Twitter, they are in the description. And I hope to see you guys for the rest of the series.